It's the most powerful show on television. High drama, with intense energy. A show dedicated to a few brave souls who risk their lives for the sake of their craft. Its in-depth reporting goes to the core and unlocks the mysteries behind today's raciest sport. Motorsports. Catch it when you can.
Speed Station welcomes you to Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the running of the Auto Club 400. In the race analysis, today's event is 80 laps around the 2-mile speedway here in Fontana, California, with Stage 1 ending on lap number 20 and Stage 2 ending on lap 40. In your regular season point standings entering today's race, Josh Balicki is still your point leader. After winning the Daytona 500 and getting a very strong run at Palm Beach International Raceway, he currently sets 4 points above second-place runner Justin Allgaier, and tied for second is Kevin Harvick, who's as well 4 points out of the lead. But Justin Allgaier currently gets the nod for the tiebreaker with a top 5, which, believe it or not, Kevin Harvick has yet to finish in the top 5 this season, but has opened up the year with 2 consecutive top 10s. Then Michael Mcdowell currently sets 4th in points, Chase Elliott in 5th, Brad Keselowski 6th, Jan Magnussen in 7th after winning last time out at Palm Beach, Chris Buescher in 8th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 9th, and Joey Logano rounding out the top 10 in the point standings. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the NASCAR Cup Series Ride-Along segment. Back in the Cup Series ride-along car. Keep in mind that today is the final time the Cup Series will be running on this facility with the original pavement that was laid down here over the course of 1996 when the track was first built by Roger Penske. This race, last time you'll be seeing all the bumps down the backstretch we'll be feeling in this ride-along. And next year we're going to expect a rather smooth surface. And it's going to be fast. I know that. It's going to be kind of like what we have at Texas World Speedway right now, what we saw in the Busch Clash, or excuse me, the Bud Shootout last season. Postseason, that is. Except this track has much, much less banking. So you're still going to have that off-throttle time, but it's going to be a little bit less because the tires don't get chewed up like this cheese grater surface that we have here. So anyway, green flag, or I guess we call a mock qualifying run. Again, I'm not the best at ripping the top, so I kind of like to stick one lane below, right up next to the wall. Can't quite run the Michael Waltrip Harry Gant line. But what I can do is make consistent lap time, I'll just say that. Down the back stretch, you can carry a lot of speed at this racetrack. You carry more speed, actually, back when we had the low downforce package and ran here, because you could really build that momentum off the top and run close to 200 miles an hour in turn 1. But honestly, I think that the high downforce package has brought the field together, and the racing's gotten a lot better since. So anyway, there's one lap around Auto Club Speedway. Our lap time was a 44.142. I think that's a little bit better than my Camping World Truck Series lap. And just like last night, I expected very hard racing right up by the wall for the full 80 laps. After a bit of a poor running in the Camping World Truck Series race Friday night, Kyle Busch has come out to the NASCAR Cup Series event here at Auto Club Speedway with the pole spot, scoring it above his brother by about 6/100ths of a second. Then Kyle Larson in his self-owned number 57 car in 3rd. Then Justin Allgaier 4th, Clint Boyer 5th, Kevin Harvick in 6th, Chris Buescher 7th, Daniel Suarez in 8th, Denny Hamlin in 9th, and Tyler Ankrum rounding out your top 10. And again, our point leader is Josh Balicki. After winning the Daytona 500, finishing around 14th place at Palm Beach, Balicki has qualified in 11th place here at Auto Club Speedway, continuing the great run so far for Tommy Baldwin Racing. And now let's get down trackside for the command.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Guys, just like what we spoke about in the transporter, the first half of this race is just going to be to make sure we stay up there, stay out of trouble, stay out of the wall, stay on the lead lap. Second half of the race, that's what we go for, bud.
And there's the green flag for the Auto Club 400. Inside line gets a really good jump on the start. Kurt Busch was just barely sleeping at the wheel on that start of the race, with the 57 and 18 cars jumping out front. The Kyle and Kyle show already, as we have an incident in the back off the start. Chastain and Harrison Burton into the wall. Caution flag is already out. We have yet to make one corner. As you saw, the 38 car of Anthony Alfredo did not start the race. They're still setting on pit road. One car, Kurt Busch, up to the back bumper, the 57. Trying to get down to the inside, exiting turn number 4. Coming back to the start-finish line. Looks like it's going to be the 18 car of Kyle Busch leading lap 1 and leading the field back to the caution. It was Kyle Busch above Kyle Larson, Kurt Busch, Clint Bowyer, and Kevin Harvick in 5th. Entering turn 1 right on the start of the race, 55 car Chastain gives a 95 a shot. Chastain cuts up right in front of him. Harrison Burton spins him around. Magnussen got a little bit of damage. And right here, the 95 car just finishes him off. But that is a lot of front-end damage on the 95 car. Harrison Burton, his day might be done. And quite a bit of rear-end damage on the 55, although I believe that car will still be running. It's going to be way off the pace, however. Excuse me, Jan Magnussen did not get damage. However, the right front quarter panel, Kaz Gralla, made a little bit of contact with the 55, so might have a bit of a tire rub on that RCR number 50. And there was a problem entering turn number 3 for Joey Logano. I believe the driver of the number 22 car had a flat tire on the start of the race. So already quite a few issues in just one lap here at Auto Club. But since pit road was closed, he couldn't come down it. So we've had another split in pit strategy. After just one lap of competition has been completed, Kyle Busch comes down pit road with Larson, Kurt Busch, and Clint Bowyer. However, Harvick will be staying out on the racetrack with Brandon Jones in the number 20. So they will now assume first and second. And honestly, this is just kind of smart. You're practically just saving one set of tires and about $2,000 or so by not pitting. I mean, you only ran one lap. I know this racetrack is very abrasive on your tires, but it's not that abrasive. In fact, quite a few of these cars actually just took fuel only. So maybe some strategy right there, trying to get into the fuel number to be there at the end of the race by coming down early and just topping off that 1.5 lap or so of fuel that they burnt. So already, these teams are playing some strategy very early. But the first car off pit road was Kyle Busch getting out in front of Kyle Larson, Clint Bowyer, Daniel Suarez, and Kurt Busch. So the number 95 car of Harrison Burton has already pulled behind the wall. Severe engine damage and radiator damage from that incident. Harrison Burton is now out of the race. And the number 38 team has stopped working on Anthony Alfredo's race car, so he is out of the race before it even starts. At least his race didn't start, because he didn't make it to the green flag. The car was just stalled right on pit road before the start of the race. And unfortunately for Alfredo, doesn't even get to turn a lap at Auto Club Speedway. However, this number 55 car of Ross Chastain is still in the race. And from the front of the cars, it might be a little bit easy to mix up the two JTG Doherty racing cars in this race. There's Eric Jones' number 37, brand new paint scheme this weekend. And there's number 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So with them both having the blue front ends and the big Kroger logo on there, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you're paying attention in who's in which car. The 71 car of Josh Balicki currently sets in 18th place. So already a pretty good run going, even though he dropped back a couple spots on the start. This is by far the best car that he and his team have ever brought to a Speedway race, so certainly just going to be figuring out how they should run this race throughout the first few laps, rather than just trying to run up front. So it's kind of understandable that they dropped back a little bit. And they had to make a pit stop, and no offense to the team, but they don't exactly have the most trained pit crews as of yet, because they genuinely just couldn't afford it to start the year. That huge burst of money that they got from the Daytona 500 has been a great help for the team, but still there's a little bit of growing pains trying to run the full season. And now the pace car hits pit road. Kevin Harvick leading the field down to the Geico restart zone for a single file restart. Green flag. Home state hero Kevin Harvick is out front above Brandon Jones. That's because those two did not come down pit road. But remember that the cars behind them, really none of them got fresh rubber. So it's not like it's that much of an advantage. They just came down pit road to top off on gas. So really, that was just a strategy call. The only problem is it does keep Kyle Busch in the back. So he's going to have to get through dirty air to get around Brandon Jones and Kevin Harvick, as there you see Jones bump drafting the 4 car down the back stretch. Here comes Kyle Busch down to the inside of the 20 car. As well as Daniel Suarez went 3 wide on the inside, got around Clint Boyer by putting him in the middle, now battling alongside Larson for 4th position. As the Gibbs teammates go side by side for 2nd, looks like Brandon Jones is going to clear Kyle Busch entering turn 1. Out of turn 2, Jones running that higher line than the 18 car, building that momentum, has cleared the 18. As Kyle Busch jumps back up into the outside line to block the 57 car of Larson, as he got a great run down the back stretch up to the back bumper of that 18 car. Down to the inside, here comes the 14 of Boyer. Tried to move that 57 car out of line just a little bit, as now we have a bit of a battle for the top spot. Brandon Jones trying to side draft Kevin Harvick down the front stretch. Caution flag is back out. Yellow flag is being displayed. We have had a large mess on the front stretch. A lot of damage on DiBenedetto. Chastain is well involved in another incident. Caution flag is out with Kevin Harvick, your race leader, above Brandon Jones, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, and Clint Boyer. We have had quite the beginning of this race, haven't we, with already 2 incidents. There you see Snyder tries to go to the inside of the 3 car Dillon, who had to check up. 48 car Johnson makes contact with the 43 of Snyder, almost turns that 43 down to the 47, but Stenhouse manages to miss it. Bowman finishes him off, then the 43 hard into the outside wall, slides down, clips the 48 car of Bowman. Newman makes contact, 33 car Magnuson involved, 2 car DiBenedetto with heavy front end damage. There you see the 55 car trying to thread the needle, spins Joey Logano into the number 99 car. It looks like Kaz Grella might have got not too much damage in that 50, as there goes Chastain sliding down on the inside line. And actually, teammates Magnuson and Chastain now look like they have pretty comparable rear end damage. But I would say that the damage on the 2 car might just be terminal. It's very similar to what we had on Harrison Burton in the first incident. But still, already 2 crashes in the first 8 laps here at Auto Club. So this time, everybody's hitting the pits, including Brandon Jones and Kevin Harvick. So that advantage of coming down pit road first is kind of nullified, as the 4 car and 20 are able to take advantage of this caution, get back on the same cycle with the rest of the lead lap cars. But look at this. They did not really take advantage of the pit stop, as Kyle Busch gets off pit road in first above Kyle Larson. Then the 14 car of Clint Boyer, the 1 of Kurt Busch, and the 42 of Justin Allgaier. Harvick gets out in 6th, and Brandon Jones gets out in 7th. 5 positions lost on pit road for each driver. Tell you what, there's quite a bit of damage on that number 43 car of Myatt Snyder. They had to cut off the rear bumper cover on that Richard Petty Motorsports number 43. There's also quite a bit of hood damage on that Tax Slayer Chevrolet. The number 2 car of Matt DiBenedetto for Team Penske has in fact dropped out of the race, but along with him is the number 33 car of Jan Magnuson, so those 2 will not be running at the finish. The rest of the cars, however, involved in that incident have continued, even with just a little bit of crash damage on most of them, with the exception of that 43 car, which is pretty well damaged. I would expect that car to be rather slow on the coming restarts, and if he can make the rest of the race. And I'll say this, for winning this race last year, Alex Bowman's race here in 2021 has not gone the way he has planned. Already been involved in a pretty big incident in that number 48 car. Once again, the pace car pulls off onto pit road. Kyle Busch leading the field down to the Geico restart zone for yet another single-file restart on lap 11. And there's the green flag with just 9 laps to go in stage number 1. Kyle Busch does not get a very big jump on the restart. That number 57 car of Kyle Larson right on the back bumper entering turn 1. Field still running single file through 1 and 2, trying to get all the way up to speed. Expect a lot of pushing down this back straightaway here. This 57 car's right on the back bumper, the 18. Down the backstretch, tucked right in line. Entering turn number 3, what can 2 Mile Kyle do? Jumps up to the outside line. That's a bit of a signature move. But that lets Clint Boyer onto his inside. That's going to clear the gap just a little bit for the 18 car of Kyle Busch. Here comes Kevin Harvick going 3 wide down on the inside. Entering turn number 1, however, the outside line really using the momentum. Larson tried to make it work, but here comes Allgaier, 3 wide on the inside. Larson drops back. Now a battle for second between Bowyer and Allgaier. Looks like Clint Bowyer has got it, the 2019 Series champion. Allgaier dropping back along with Kevin Harvick down on the inside. Harvick now really dropping back in that 4 car, trying to run the very inside. Makes up quite a bit of time, though, through 3 and 4. Contact gets made. Suarez gets turned around in front of the field by the 26. He tries to collect it, but the caution flag is already waving. Huge amounts of damage on that 24 car of William Byron. The whole left front fender on that 24 car has been ripped off. In the race back to the caution flag, it was the 18 car of Kyle Busch, your race leader, above the 14 of Clint Bowyer, the 57 of Kyle Larson, the 1 of Kurt Busch, and the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Kind of a similar situation to the incident on lap number 8. Suarez goes up to side draft the 42, cuts straight down to the inside line, gets clipped by Allgaier's teammate Quinn Houff. Houff sends him down to the 26 car of Ankrum, because Suarez is already in an uncontrolled slide. Ankrum just kind of finishes him off, sends him sideways down the front stretch. Byron really had nowhere to go. The rear bumper of the 00 just shears that left front quarter panel, and you can see it up in the corner of the screen just flying straight up into the air. But fortunately, Suarez gets it cut straight down to the apron, into the grass, and misses any further contact. But it looks like that number 24 car of William Byron might be out of this one. I think they can get the rear bumper of the 00 repaired, but that's a lot of damage on that 24. This time by, every single lead lap car hits pit road once again. Kyle Busch gets off pit road in first above Kyle Larson, then Brandon Jones, Clint Bowyer, who loses 2 spots on pit road, and Kurt Busch in the 1 car. And there you see on pit road damage repair going on with the 00 car of Daniel Suarez. They will get that race car back out on track. And the 24 car of William Byron is now out of today's race. Yet another victim of a lot of stage number 1 aggression. You know, coming on to pit road, Chase Briscoe was running in 17th place, but off pit road, he's now running in 9th. That's quite a few spots to pick up with just a pit stop. You know, for Friday night's Camping World Truck Series race, we didn't even have a single truck DNF. Already, here in the NASCAR Cup Series race, however, after just 16 laps, we have had 4 cars drop out of the event, and 1 car didn't even get started. So that means we've had 5 in total listed as DNF. Well, actually, 1 is DNS, and 4 is DNF. 00 team of Daniel Suarez pitted for a second time last time by to get the rear end damage on the 00 car completely fixed, and I'll be entirely honest with you, that car does look better than the car that Kyle Busch won the championship with last year at Atlanta, after wrecking about 3 times in the last 70 laps. I mean, that car was really beat up, and he still managed to finish 3rd in that race and win the title. So I think that 00 car is in pretty good shape. Maybe, just with some of that crash damage, they might be able to trick the car out just a little bit. Maybe get that rear spoiler knocked down a little bit. Maybe get some straightaway speed. Even though it hurt him in the turns, might be worth it. And pace car ducks onto pit road. Once again, the Kyle and Kyle show leading the field down to the restart with now just 3 laps to go in stage number 1. Green flag. Once again, Larson gets a pretty good jump on that 18 car as the field runs down to turn number 1. Bit of a 4-car breakaway right now, as it looks like Kurt Busch might have just barely spun his tires. Exiting turn 2, the field still running single file. That 14 car trying to push the 20 down the backstretch. Larson trying to build that run entering turn number 3. He's a little bit too far back to try and move through 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to stick in line behind that number 18 car, as here comes Kurt Busch to the inside of the 14, and he's got help coming from Kevin Harvick. But Harvick abandons him, trying to go 3 wide down the front stretch. I don't think that's really going to work out for either of those two as they start to drop back. Brandon Jones back up into 3rd spot, Clint Bowyer into 4th. Chris Buescher in the number 17 car for Roush Fenway Racing, starting to make his presence known in the top 10. Kyle Busch, though, still dominating the field. down the backstretch, trying to put a gap on Kyle Larson in the number 57. Friday night's Camping World Truck Series race showed that domination does not always mean you're going to win the race, though, because Chase Purdy was destroying the field in the first two stages, ended up pitting and getting caught one lap down, and ended up finishing on the tail end of the lead lap. As now we're in the final lap of stage number 1, Kyle Busch trying to dominate the stage above Kyle Larson. Larson, though, getting a run on the exit of turn 2 right up to the back bumper. The 18 car might be able to try and move into 3. Entering turn 3, that 57 car tucked right up to the back bumper is going to have to try and make it right here. Cuts down to the inside. Side drafting that 18 car back down to the stripe. Side by side, right to the line. Here they come. Kyle Busch trying to use momentum on the top. At the line, it is Larson beating out Kyle Busch to win stage number 1 here at Auto Club Speedway. A very well-timed pass through 3 and 4. They don't call him 2 Mile Kyle for nothing. But anyway, Larson wins stage number 1 above Kyle Busch, Brandon Jones, Kevin Harvick, and Clint Bowyer. And here's just a better look at the gap at the stripe. Larson beats out Kyle Busch for the stage number 1 victory by just 20/1000ths of a second. NASCAR on Speed Station is being brought to you by RFJ, the official home of the RFJ AI series. By Knife Friend 725, the brains behind Project Retroval. And by Anthony's Online Simulation League. And once again, seems like pretty much every single lead lap car will be hitting pit road this time by, being led down by the 57. And the first car off pit road with 2-tire stop is Kevin Harvick, as well a 2-tire stop on Martin Truex Jr. to get out first and second. Then third is Brandon Jones, fourth is Kyle Larson, and fifth is Quinn Half in the number 40 car. A very slow pit stop as Kyle Busch wrecks coming off of pit road with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. A huge mess coming off of pit road. This may have possibly had something to do with these two's run-in at Palm Beach. Now, I'm not going to 100% confirm it until we see the replays, but certainly Kyle Busch fuming on the radio. Well, here they come off of pit road. Clint Bowyer turns down, Kyle Busch turning up. Busch gets clipped by the 14 car of Bowyer up into the 47 of Stenhouse. So much like the incident at Palm Beach, it was actually neither of these two's fault. But once again, 18 and 47 cars collide 2 weeks in a row, except last time it was caused by Joey Logano. This time, it was Clint Bowyer. And coming off pit road of all things. A slow stop, and then an incident coming off pit road. Very poor luck for Kyle Busch. So Kyle Busch came down pit road in second place behind Kyle Larson, but gets off in 10th place. And all that track position that he lost because of a slow pit stop is what ultimately led to him getting in that incident with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So just one hit after another on this 18 team. But how about probably the only happy story coming off of pit road? Michael McDowell in the number 34 car for Front Row Motorsports currently runs in 7th place. Great run going so far. And what about Quinn Half in his first full season for Chip Ganassi Racing? Currently resides in 5th place. You know who's had a very quiet race all day? Denny Hamlin. Hamlin really has not been running up front any time in this entire race. However, he has not been involved in any incidents. So currently keeping the nose of that 11 car clean. Currently resides in 24th spot, just behind the car that he owns, at least partially, Bubba Wallace in the number 23. And Wallace is currently running in the position that matches his car number. Pace car ducks on to pit road for the start of stage number 2. Hometown hero Kevin Harvick leading the field down to the restart zone. Green flag. Oh, and look at the jump Kevin Harvick gets above the 19 car of Truex. Already put a couple car length separation on the second place runner. Entering turn 1, the Gibbs cars working together, trying to build a run down the backstretch on that number 4 car. Kyle Busch being put 3 wide by Clint Bowyer down the inside. They are putting Stenhouse in the middle. Bowyer is going to get freight train down on the inside line, and in the battle back out front, we currently have the 4 cars still leading, trying to build that separation above the 19 as here comes Larson back up into 3rd. Quinn Half trying to pressure that 20 car on the front stretch. Larson down on the inside. Looks like he's going to take up second at the line. Scoring might give it to Larson. Yes, it does. Entering turn one, he's going to hold a bit of an advantage. He can try to dive it into the corner. Larson up to second. He's got to slide up in front of Truex, though, on the exit of 2. Looks like he can't quite do it. 19 cars got too much momentum. He thought about it for a moment. That just slowed down the 57 car a little bit more. Bit of a 3-wide move being made by Kurt Busch, or at least attempting to make it. Down on the inside, entering turn 3. Tried to get around his teammate Quinn Half and the 20. Looks like he might get around Half. Now side by side with Truex, as here comes Larson going for the race lead on Kevin Harvick. Larson got a great run through 3 and 4. Now challenging Kevin Harvick for the top spot. And easily takes the race lead through 1 and 2. 57 car of Larson is now out front. It's been a little bit since he's been running this good at a 2-mile track, although we all know he's got the talent to do it. Harvick running in second place, using that high line for the momentum. Kurt Busch battling alongside Martin Truex Jr. for the 3rd spot. Looks like Busch might have it. He goes up to side draft the 4 car of Kevin Harvick, as Clint Bowyer takes up 4th place. Harvick and Kurt Busch going side by side down the front stretch. Entering turn 1, Kurt Busch has taken it. Busch and Larson actually battled for the Cup Series title at Atlanta last season. Larson ended up finishing 2nd. Kurt Busch almost won the championship and got involved in a late race incident, which opened up the door for his brother to win his 2nd career Cup Series title. Harvick runs wide, entering turn number 3. Lets Clint Bowyer up into 3rd spot. Now Bowyer going for 2nd on Kurt Busch. Side by side right down to the line. But that 1 car Kurt Busch has the drafting help from the 57 car of Larson. Busch clears the 14 into turn 1. Bowyer still trying to use that bottom line to corner just a little bit better, but he does not carry that speed onto the straightaways, which is why Bowyer is still relegated to 3rd spot. That 53 car of Briscoe starting to carve his way through the field, getting around Truex and Chase Elliott. 14 car runs turn 3 wide, lets the 20 car down to his inside. Bowyer and Brandon Jones now battle for the 3rd position. Looks like Bowyer's going to hold it. Kevin Harvick also just cleared the 53 car of Briscoe. '14 car of Bowyer up to bump draft the 1 car of Kurt Busch down the backstretch. They really are locking bumpers entering turn number 3. Larson still trying to take the air away from that 1 car of Kurt Busch as here comes Bowyer down to the inside. He planned the run at the right time, now side by side with the 1 car to the start-finish line. Bowyer holds 2nd at the stripe. He's going to have to dive it into turn 1 to try and take the spot. Entering 1, it looks like he's done it. Bowyer up to 2nd. Brandon Jones going for 3rd on Kurt Busch, but looks like Jones might be hung out of line. Briscoe making it work on the top. And Jones just barely tried to cut off that 53 car, but could not quite do it without starting an incident. So he gave Briscoe the line. Kurt Busch as well runs wide into turn 3. That's that 53 car of Briscoe right up to his back bumper. They almost go 3 wide. Now they do. Brandon Jones backs out. Kurt Busch still holds 3rd, but Chase Briscoe going for it, entering turn number 1. As that 14 car of Clint Bowyer has really closed the gap up to the 57 car of Larson. Bowyer in his final career Cup Series season trying to go out with a bang after winning the 2019 Series title as the 53 car has cleared the 1 for 3rd spot. Down the backstretch, Bowyer certainly not afraid of locking bumpers, as he was pushing that 57 all the way into turn 3, but the 14 went wide on the exit. 53 car of Briscoe now side by side with the 14 down the front stretch. Larson back out to a couple car length lead above 2nd place. Through 1 and 2, That 14 car, though, has caught right up to the back bumper of the 57. Now, once again, going to try and bump draft down the backstretch. This is certainly hard to do at a 2-mile track, and especially Auto Club, which is nowhere near as smooth or as high-banked as Michigan. But Boyer runs it wide once again. Lets the 53 car of Briscoe to his inside. Briscoe currently holds a slight advantage above the 14 car at the stripe. It goes to Briscoe to hold second place. Down to turn number 1, it looks like Briscoe might hold the advantage still, but Boyer's going to carry a lot of momentum down the backstretch. Boyer, in fact, running a higher line than the 57 car of Larson. Back to the rear bumper, the 57 car once again tandeming down the backstretch. That appears to be how they're getting this advantage. But Boyer runs it wide into turn number 3. 53 car back down to the inside. Ganassi cars battling for the 4th place, that being Allgaier on the inside and Kurt Busch up on the outside. But now, because Allgaier went down to the bottom, that 53 car has some drafting help. It now goes up side by side with the 57. Briscoe challenging Larson for the race lead, exiting turn number 2. Larson really carries the momentum, and he's got his pusher behind him. Larson back out front. Allgaier up to the outside line to work with his teammate. And Briscoe cuts him off as well. We have lap traffic right up in front of the race leaders. Boyer runs it wide, consistently entering turn number 3, but that time Kurt Busch did it as well. Battle once again for second place between Briscoe and Larson. Lap car of Ryan Newman up in front of the field. We all know how hard he is to pass. He might create just a little bit of trouble right here, as it looks like Boyer is going to get stuck behind the 6 car up on the outside line. That removes Kyle Larson's pusher. Down the backstretch, though, it looks like Boyer might try and push Ryan Newman. But now he's trying to cut up to the outside line to get around Newman, the much slower number 6 car who was already involved in an incident today. Austin Dillon signaling that he might be coming down pit road. Either that or he just ran the corner very slow. Looks like he was just checking up for the 6 car. As here comes the 42 of Justin Allgaier side by side with the 57. Cannot quite do it as the 53 builds momentum up on the outside line. Briscoe back up into second, but he is battling alongside Allgaier for the 2nd spot. Austin Dillon up into 5th in that 3 car. Who I accidentally thought was coming down pit road. Turns out he was just stalled out by the 6 car, but because we're running this high downforce package, it's a little bit hard to get your momentum back once you lift. That 53 car bump drafting the 57 down the backstretch. Guess he learned a little bit from Boyer as he jumps up to the outside line. Tried to use the momentum, but he's going to be side drafted by the 42 down the front stretch. Larson trying to control the field as we now approach the end of stage number 2. Entering turn 1, look at this move by the 3 car of Austin Dillon. He's trying to go 3 wide for second, but can't quite do it as Allgaier pinches him down on the inside. 53 of Chase Briscoe up to the back bumper of the 57. He's going to have the run entering turn 3, but can he make a move? 3 car tandem entering turn number 3. And here comes Briscoe, jumps down to the inside. Larson tried to pinch him down. Larson's going to have a bit of drafting help down the front straightaway from the 42 car of Allgaier, but at the stripe, who will it be? Briscoe to lead at the line. Now just 2 laps to go in stage number 2. Entering turn 1, Briscoe really carries a lot of momentum into the corner and clears the 57 car of Kyle Larson. A very aggressive move entering turn 1. Briscoe is now out front. The Bristol Night Race winner of last season. Larson getting the push from the 42 and 14 cars right up to the back bumper of the 53, entering turn number 3. The field already fanning out once again. Larson trying to side draft to 53 on the exit of 4. As down to the start-finish line, we will see the white flag in stage number 2. Boyer is not committed to pushing the 57. Tried to make a 3-wide move for the lead, but now just going for second on Larson. Entering turn 1. 14 car trying to make it stick, but he can't quite slide up in front of the 57. Larson's going to carry some momentum down the back. But this has really created the gap the 53 car needed to win the stage. Entering turn number 3, here comes a 3-wide move by Justin Allgaier. The battle for second has really stalled out the field. This is letting the 53 car of Briscoe run away with it. Larson down to 4th as Bowyer takes up second, but Chase Briscoe wins stage number 2 at Auto Club. Briscoe has won it above Clint Bowyer, Kyle Larson, Justin Allgaier, who dropped down to 4th after being hung out back to the start-finish line, and Austin Dillon in 5th. And believe it or not, over the course of that run, because of the damage that Kyle Busch got off pit road with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Busch fell all the way down to 25th place, with Ricky Stenhouse falling down to 26th, so it seems to have hurt their cars rather equally. NASCAR on Speed Station is being brought to you by RFJ, the official home of the RFJ AI series. By Knife Friend 725, the brains behind Project Retroval. And by Anthony's Online Simulation League. And now Chase Briscoe leads all of the lead lap cars down pit road. And the first car off pit road is Briscoe getting out in front of Bowyer, then Austin Dillon, Brandon Jones, and Justin Allgaier. And we should mention that on the final lap of stage number 2, Joey Logano reported some engine trouble on the number 22 car. They came down pit road at the end of the stage, after the stage had concluded, and you could already tell there was an issue on that car as he brought the car home in stage number 2 in 33rd place. They come down pit road, they open up the hood, and they brought the 22 car behind the wall. Joey Logano is done for the day with engine trouble. And the pace car ducks down pit road. Stage 2 winner Chase Briscoe leading the field down into the Geico restart zone. And there's the green flag for the final stage. Briscoe does get a bit of a jump on the 14 car as the field heads down to turn 1. Bit of a checkup farther in the back for the number 6 car of Ryan Newman. You recall he has quite a bit of damage on that Roush Fenway Ford, causing a stack up near around 25th position as the field runs single file down the back straightaway. 14 car of Bowyer bump drafting that number 53 of Briscoe entering turn number 3. Here comes Allgaier down to the inside as Brandon Jones runs the corner wide. Austin Dillon still defending for 3rd spot. Looks like he has it. Bowyer running in 2nd. Here comes Quinn Half down on the inside. He's getting a push from a Chip Ganassi teammate as the 14 car of Clint Bowyer rockets into turn number 1 to take the race lead down on the inside line. That's a hard move to make, because that outside line has so much momentum coming on to the straightaways, but Bowyer has taken the race lead. Through 3 and 4, here comes Briscoe back down to the inside. Side by side to the start-finish line. Here they come at the line. Too close to call. Scoring gives it to Briscoe. Entering turn 1, Briscoe's going to try and make it work down on the bottom. And it looks like for the moment he's still side by side. We have Ross Chastain coming off pit road. And the 14 car of Bowyer has cleared the field entering turn number 3. Field has to watch out for Ross Chastain, the very slow number 55 car down on the inside line. As the field now fanning out to get around that lap car. Briscoe still running in 2nd. Allgaier is going to get a run down this front stretch using momentum off the top. Entering turn 1, here comes that 42 car of Allgaier trying to take 2nd, but Briscoe really dives into the corner, but I don't think it's going to be enough, because here comes all that momentum from the 42 car up on the outside line. Down the back stretch, Briscoe dropping back as the field freight trains him up on the outside line. Allgaier into 2nd, Austin Dillon into 3rd, but Bowyer still controlling the field. Dillon runs wide. Briscoe back up into 3rd. Slowing the bleeding at the moment. But currently, Clint Bowyer holds a controlling lead above the 42 car of Justin Allgaier, the Roval race winner from last season. And if you're wondering why we had tire tracks on the exit of turn number 3, it's because we had a bit of an incident with the 50 car of Kaz Gralla getting put up into the outside wall by the 99 car of Ryan Preece. 50 car gets turned around, but because this happened right at the back of the field and Gralla got the car back running, we had no caution. This is very similar to Friday night's Camping World Truck Series race where we had that incident with Stephen Parsons on the start. That happened in the back, and we remained green. Down the backstretch, that 42 car closes the gap right up to the back bumper of Clint Bowyer. Trying to perform that bump draft down the backstretch. They really have locked bumpers. I don't think I'd dare doing that at a track like this. But here comes the 53 car down to the inside. Briscoe back up into second. That car is a bit more of a long-run car. You saw in the restart he kind of got hammered, but now he's cutting his way back up through the field, up into second. Right on the back bumper, the 14 car of Bowyer. Here comes Kevin Harvick. 3 wide on the inside, going for third spot. But Harvick getting steamrolled up on the outside line. Really doesn't have much drafting help down on the bottom and had to catch the car from a bit of looseness on the exit of 2. Harvick loses almost 4 spots down the back straightaway. He was battling for third, now back down to around 7th, as here comes the 53 down to the inside. Briscoe got a great launch on the exit of turn number 4, side by side with the 14 to the stripe. Bowyer leads at the line using the momentum off the top. Bowyer's also got drafting help coming from the 42 of Allgaier. Briscoe's got to try and dive it into 1. But it looks like he can't quite do it because he has yet to clear the 14 car. Here comes Bowyer with all that momentum. Bowyer once again has a pusher coming from the 42 of Allgaier, but that 53 car slowed him down with the side draft. Entering turn 3, here comes the 42 up all the way onto the outside. He loses some time by getting up into the marbles. Harvick back down on the inside line. Side by side for the top spot. On the front stretch, Bowyer still your race leader. Briscoe trying to pressure that 14 car down the front stretch, but it looks like he's starting to drop off. Harvick really making that yellow line work right now, as he is really bottom feeding at the moment, but that's his classic driving style. As here comes Quinn Half, almost out of nowhere getting a run up on the top side, taking up second with a push coming from his teammate Justin Allgaier. Half the winner of the Fall Kansas race in 2019, looking for that second career Cup Series victory, now in fantastic Chip Ganassi racing equipment compared to that Spire Motorsports car he won with at Kansas just 2 years ago. At the line, we have that 42 car on the outside line going for third spot. And still Clint Bowyer controlling the field at the moment. Harvick making that very bottom line work. First car to do that all throughout today. But that run up on the outside line is very hard to defend. 42 car up into third spot. You see all the track position Harvick lost by rolling the bottom line. Lost about 4 spots down the backstretch once again. Oh, the 20 car gets loose entering turn 3. Loses quite a bit of track position right there through 3 and 4. And now we have 2 Chip Ganassi racing cars in the top 3, those being Half and Allgaier. Certainly not the 2 I was expecting. You'd think Kurt Busch would be right up here, but he is right on the edge of the top 10. Now a battle for second. Justin Allgaier down on the inside, going for the spot. I see Ross Chastain up into the wall. He was finally getting back up into the top 15, but after getting up into the outside wall, he has lost quite a bit of track position. But like I said, maybe knocking down that rear spoiler did trick out the car just a little bit, as the 40 car still holds second. 53 runs wide entering turn number 3. Lets the 20 car of Brandon Jones down to his inside, as here comes Quinn Half with a bit of help coming from his teammate. Going for the race lead down the front stretch. But Allgaier has other intentions entering turn 1. 3 wide for the top spot. Justin Allgaier forces the issue down into turn 1. Half's going to have momentum up on the outside line as Bowyer drops down to third. Bowyer goes up with the 40 car of Quinn Half as Half takes the race lead. Bowyer into second. Allgaier in third. Half still holding on. Excuse me, that's Briscoe holding on to fourth. Briscoe once again losing track position through 3 and 4. As there you see Kyle Larson, the Stage 1 winner, on the inside line going 3 wide. Here comes Bowyer down to the inside with a very aggressive cut to the bottom line of the 40. This time, Allgaier does not side with his teammate. Clint Bowyer back out front. At least Half got to lead 1 lap. Unfortunately, though, you don't get any bonus points for leading a lap, but here comes Half with another run up on the outside line. I think that the way Allgaier's been racing him has set a bit of a precedent for these Chip Ganassi racing cars. It's pretty much every man for himself because they are not working together. Through 3 and 4, the 40 car once again runs wide. 42 trying to get the run on the inside line of the 14 car of Clint Bowyer. Side by side, down the front stretch. Bowyer holds the spot. Half not going to help his teammate. Entering turn number 1. Here comes the lap car of Ryan Newman up in front of the field. Gonna have to make some dicey maneuvers on the exit of turn number 2 to get around him cleanly and keep up your momentum as Bowyer gets the run on the outside line to get stalled out by the 6 car. Now cuts down to the inside. Half stuck in line behind Ryan Newman. Clint Bowyer really gapping the field as Austin Dillon goes 4 wide on the inside. Dillon cornering almost on the apron. Exiting turn number 4, Ryan Newman still stalling out the field. Half, Harvick, Larson all stuck in line, as well as Tyler Ankrum in the 26. Bowyer's out front. Brandon Jones into second. Austin Dillon going for third. And now, just look at Kurt Busch trying to become the top Chip Ganassi racing car in the race, but that 42 car really rolled the momentum on the exit of 2. Put 2 cars in between him and his teammate Kurt Busch. And where did Brad Keselowski come from? That 88 car for Hendrick Motorsports finally up into the top 10, and now we can see, believe it or not, Josh Balicki and Denny Hamlin battling for near top 10 positions. Entering turn number 1, Clint Bowyer still holds the top spot above the 20 car of Brandon Jones and the 42 of Justin Allgaier. As Allgaier tries to look to the inside of the 20, but it looks like his line has been taken away as he wanted to roll the outside, was forced down to the inside, and now here comes Briscoe with the momentum off the top. Briscoe up in the 3rd spot. Kurt Busch tried to freight train his teammate but couldn't quite do it as Briscoe runs wide. Looks like Almirola, Half, and Harvick will be coming down pit road this time by trying to short pit the field and trying to cut this stage in half. Bowyer still out front. Here comes the 1 car of Kurt Busch battling alongside his teammate down on the bottom. Could not quite do it as the 42 car of Allgaier dives off into the corner and clears him. Down the back stretch and entering turn number 3, 14, 20, 11, and 71 cars all hitting pit road, along with, I believe, Chase Elliott. Austin Dillon pulled a fake out, and Chase Briscoe is now your race leader above Kurt Busch, Austin Dillon, Martin Truex Jr., and Brad Keselowski. These few trying to stay out in hopes that they might catch a caution and lap several very competitive race cars. And here comes Martin Truex Jr., Austin Dillon, Justin Haley, and Tyler Ankrum down pit road. Briscoe and Kurt Busch will be staying out this time by. Along with those 2 will be Brad Keselowski and Tyler Reddick, as well as Kyle Larson in the number 57 after being stalled out by Ryan Newman in the 6. Entering turn 1, that 1 car was all over the back bumper of the 53. They were trying to bump draft down the front stretch, which really has not happened very often today. And now this time down the back straightaway, the 1 car doesn't have much help coming from behind, so he really can't close the gap up to the 53 on the back. This time by Briscoe coming down pit road, as well as Brad Keselowski, but Kurt Busch will be staying out. Remember, these few are hoping for a caution. Busch stays out, as well as Reddick, Larson, Mcdowell, Preece, and Buescher. This time by, Kurt Busch signals that he'll be coming down pit road along with Reddick, Larson, McDowell, but the 17 car of Chris Buescher will be staying out on the racetrack. Buescher in the 17 car going the extra 2 miles by staying out an additional lap. He's stalling out Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin in line behind him. Buescher's still running under full power. However, he's trying to conserve fuel so he can get down pit road. This time he signals that he will be coming onto pit road. And that has concluded our cycle of green flag pit stops. And we will see who will get out with the race lead. And if my calculations are correct, this appears to be the battle for the race lead once the field races back one more lap and gets around the 17 car. Buescher still on pit road. There you see the front runners coming back. At the line, the second place car is scored as the 14, so now Clint Bowyer has taken the race lead off of Chris Buescher. Bowyer out front above the 40 car of Quinn Half and the 20 of Brandon Jones. The field has certainly spread out through the pit strategy. But how about this? Denny really does deliver, because he is currently running in 7th place in that number 11 car after running around 25th spot all day long. Brandon Jones, the winner of one of the Pocono races last season. That race, however, was marred by the career-ending crash of Matt Kenseth. But here he comes, getting a run on the 14 car of Clint Bowyer, trying to score his second career Cup Series race win. It's worth noting that after Brandon Jones failed to qualify for Palm Beach International Raceway last week, the team that he drove for last season, the 61, which has been renumbered to the 61, was the 81 last year, but the 61 of Christopher Bell didn't make this race. So they're kind of going back and forth right now, trying to judge how well each other are doing. But currently, Brandon Jones has made 2 races out of 3 this year, and Bell has only made 1 race out of 3, and he DNF'd at Palm Beach. Down the back straightaway, Brandon Jones, Clint Bowyer running bumper to bumper for the top spot. We all know that Jones has the talent to do it. In fact, he won a race last year and finished 6th overall in points. That's almost championship level performance, as here he comes side by side with Clint Bowyer down the front stretch. Side drafting down the front straightaway. No real drafting help coming from behind. Entering turn number 1, the 20 car's got to try and dive it in. He can't quite do it. Bowyer's going to try and pinch him down on the exit of 2, and it looks like he's done it. Stuart Haas car is trying to use momentum up on the outside line, but Brandon Jones cuts up in line, right up in front of the 10 car of Eric Almirola. Almirola runs turn number 3 wide. Just about let the 40 car of Quinn Half down to his inside. And look at who has driven his way up into 5th place. That's the winningest driver from last season, Denny Hamlin, who's been driving a comeback race all day long. Entering turn 1, the 40 car of Quinn Half trying to pressure the 10 car of Eric Almirola. On the exit of 2, however, 10 car will carry the momentum using the outside line, and he has re-cleared it. Bit of contact in the back exiting turn number 2 between the 4 car of Harvick and the lap car of Ryan Preece. Harvick got into the 99, and that turned Preece down into the 42. A bit of a dicey moment, but they managed to keep it together. As there you see Denny Hamlin now catching up to this lead breakaway, now with just 11 laps to go. Also, Harvick, Elliott, Truex, and Allgaier are back up into the mix for the race win. In fact, the top 10 cars are within 2 seconds. So at the moment, it's really anybody's race. Down the backstretch, that 10 car of Eric Almirola trying to push the 20 car. Trying to get that run up to the 14 car of Bowyer. You got to close that gap so you can start making moves. Denny Hamlin now up to the back bumper, the 40, going for 4th spot on Eric Almirola. Now with just 10 laps to go, that 20 car of Brandon Jones starting to gain time on the 14. But really the fastest car on track right now is Denny Hamlin. These front runners are certainly going to have to watch out for that 11 car, as here comes the 10 car back to the outside of Hamlin, getting a push from Martin Truex Jr. as he has now raced his way up into this front draft. Lap car Ryan Newman back up in front of the leaders. Gonna have to certainly make some decisions here within the next lap. 20 car Brandon Jones tried the outside line on the exit of 4, couldn't quite do it. Here comes the leaders cutting down to the inside of Ryan Newman. But Half gets stopped up just a little bit by the 6 car of Newman. That's going to separate the pack out just by a couple car lengths between second to third. That's going to give Brandon Jones a bit of an easier opportunity of trying a move on that 14 car, because Boyer's not going to have any drafting help behind him. Here comes the 20. He's trying to take a look down the backstretch. Entering turn 3, he's still trying to make it work. Has to get the car pointed through the center down to the inside. And it looks like they're at least side by side down the front stretch, trying to side draft to go for the race lead. At the stripe, the nod goes to the 14 car of Boyer, holding it by just a couple thousandths. But entering turn 1, Brandon Jones dives it into the corner, trying to make it work. Boyer's going to have the run up on the outside line. And where will Half go? Boyer re-clears the 20 car. Quinn Half jumps up to the outside line. Denny Hamlin now up into 4th. Through 3 and 4. Half runs the corner wide. That's going to let the 11 car close the gap. And there you see Chase Briscoe going 3 wide down on the inside of Allgaier and Truex going for position right now. The entire top 10 is within 1.3 seconds of the race lead. Here comes Brandon Jones. Once again, trying to point that 20 car underneath the 14. You can tell that 20 is a little bit faster, but Boyer is just doing everything he can by taking away the air off the front end of the 20 car. Hamlin now shoving that 40 car of Quinn Half down the backstretch. Half gets forced a little bit wide by Hamlin. Here comes the 11 car down to the inside. Side drafting his teammate Brandon Jones for second. Looks like Jones might be able to clear him. Chase Elliott up into the top 5. Half side by side with Hamlin. Looks like he might have a shot at clearing him, but Hamlin really drives the car down into the entry of turn 1 and has cleared the 40 car. Chase Elliott going for 4th spot right now on the 40 of Quinn Half. And how about the run for the number 77 car of Justin Haley? Currently runs in 12th spot. And after a early race incident, Alex Bowman, last year's winner here, has driven his way up to 13th. Harvick now back into the mix, getting around the 9 car of Chase Elliott. Here comes Hamlin trying to make the move down to the inside of Brandon Jones. Can't quite do it. Jones can work with the 14 car down the front stretch. Just 5 laps to go. 10 miles. Boyer and Jones have re-cleared the 11 car. Up on the outside line, a big run being built by the 40 and a bump draft for the race lead down the backstretch. 20 and 14 cars locking bumpers entering turn number 3. Once again, Jones gets the car pointed in the center, side by side with Boyer, as you saw Half and Harvick slid wide entering turn 3. Currently the advantage goes to the 20. At the line, Brandon Jones holds the lead. He's going to try and dive it into turn 1. And Jones has it. Brandon Jones is now out front at Auto Club. Clint Boyer going to try and pinch down that number 11 car down the backstretch. And he's done it. Boyer using the draft as well off the 20 to move back up into second. Hamlin has to reside in third. Boyer back up to the back bumper of the 20 car. Entering turn number 3. Boyer is not giving up as Chase Elliott runs wide. Now side by side for the top spot. Boyer got the run on the exit of 4. Briscoe out of nowhere. Up into 4th, battling Hamlin for 3rd. Boyer leads at the line. Hamlin moving up to push that 14 car entering turn 1. Exiting turn number 2. The 53 car got a lot of momentum on the bottom line, but looks like he's going to lose it. Hamlin with a push from the 20 car. Gibbs cars lining up on the outside line. Boyer does a good job at blocking it. 3 wide now for the top spot. Hamlin in the middle. Briscoe on the bottom. And the 14 car up on the outside. Briscoe clears them. And what a move by cornering on the bottom line. 2 laps to go. Entering turn number 1, Hamlin currently holds second spot. Harvick running in third now. The tires really starting to degrade. You can see the field running much slower through the corners. 11 cars in the lead draft, battling for the race win. Briscoe really has cleared the field at this point. About a 4-car length separation above Denny Hamlin in the number 11. 14 and 20 cars run wide. Hamlin in second. A battle for third, which has gone 3 wide now down the front stretch between the 19, 4, and 14 cars. White flag is out for Chase Briscoe. Entering turn number 1. Hamlin trying to roll the momentum in the middle lane to try and build a run entering turn 3. That 11 car has really dropped off. 53 car down the back straightaway. Still holds it by a clear margin. About 4/10 the gap through 3 and 4. Coming off the final turn, Chase Briscoe, who won at the Bristol Night Race last season, onto the front stretch to win at Auto Club Speedway and score his second career Cup Series victory. Briscoe has now locked himself into the playoffs in the postseason at Darlington Raceway and will contend for a championship, and does it in tremendous fashion here at Auto Club Speedway after a late race charge by Denny Hamlin. And Chase Briscoe has won here at Auto Club Speedway in the RCA number 53 car above Denny Hamlin, who brings it home in second after a great comeback throughout the entirety of today's race. In 2020, at the Daytona 500, Briscoe's first Cup start, Briscoe finishes runner-up to Hamlin in the Daytona 500. And now, Briscoe scores his second career win above Denny Hamlin. So this relationship continues. Kevin Harvick in third spot, Clint Boyer in fourth, Martin Truex Jr. fifth, Brandon Jones sixth, Justin Allgaier seventh, Chase Elliott in eighth, Quinn Houff in ninth, and Austin Dillon rounding out the top 10. And also an update on Kyle Busch after that pit road incident with Stenhouse. Busch finishes in 19th place, and Stenhouse finishes in 27th. So really neither of those two could rebound after the incident. In your regular season point standings, we have a very familiar face atop the standings, that being Kevin Harvick, the driver who won the 2019 regular season championship and finished runner-up in 2020. He knows what it's like to lead the points, but he currently leads it by 4 markers above Justin Allgaier. Chase Elliott moves up 2 spots in the points into third. Michael Mcdowell having a great run all season, getting 2 top 10 finishes, currently resides 4th in points, which is unchanged from last week at Palm Beach. Josh Balicki falls down 4 spots to 5th in points. Chase Briscoe, with his win, moves up a full 14 spots in points. Denny Hamlin moves up to 7th with his runner-up finish. Brad Keselowski drops down 2 spots in points to 8th. Clint Boyer moves up a full 17 spots to 9th. And Kurt Busch rounds out your top 10, moving up 9 spots from Palm Beach. And make a note of how crucial making the Daytona 500 is. The top driver who only has made 2 starts this year is Denny Hamlin. He resides 7th in points, a full 26 markers behind Kevin Harvick. Now, that would be a much bigger gap if the field wasn't so even. We've had a lot of parity over the last 2 or 3 years. That's due to NASCAR's rules, and they're doing a great job at keeping the excitement at a maximum. As you recall, last year we absolutely shattered the record of most different winners in a season. I believe we had 23. And before then, the record was 19, but we tied that in 2019. So it has been an incredible last few seasons when it comes to parity. And that's what's keeping this field so tightly bunched up and allowing drivers to miss a race and still make it pretty deep in the season. Because if you miss one race and then the guy next week makes it but then wrecks out, it's not that big of a gap. And in your playoff standings, Kevin Harvick currently sets atop it and is locked in because he is leading the regular season points, which is an automatic advancement. Then Josh Balicki, Chase Briscoe, and Jan Magnussen are currently locked in through wins. So we currently, and put an emphasis on the word currently because Harvick's only up there because of points, have 4 drivers locked in. Then Allgaier's 44 points above, Elliott 36, McDowell 31, Hamlin 22. The same situation for Brad Keselowski. Boyer 13 above, Kurt Busch 12, Buescher 10, Ankrum 8, Almirola 7, Stenhouse Jr. 6, Suarez 3 points above, and then the drivers on the outside looking in. Reddick is 3 points out, Joey Logano is 4 points out, Brandon Jones is 5 points out, and Austin Dillon as well is 5 points out. And also, just make a note of Ryan Blaney, who has had the absolute worst season of anyone so far, believe it or not. Blaney only qualified for Palm Beach, and he wrecked out. He failed to make the Daytona 500. He did not make Auto Club on qualifying time, even though he won the regular season title last year, even winning at Roger Penske's own racetrack in Indiana. Things are not looking so good for Ryan Blaney so far, 58th in points. And from all of us here at the Speed Station, we hope that you have enjoyed today's telecast of the Auto Club 400. The next time you will be seeing us is back on the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series side of things as the series takes on the historic Texas World Speedway for the first time, the second consecutive 2-mile speedway on the schedule.